Alright, time now is 11:25 a.m. on December 4th. Um, so today is a really special day, and that is because today we're gonna have the graduation ceremony. Except, I already technically graduated, but, I guess, well, there was supposed to be a graduation ceremony last year at in December, but it was canceled. So all the people in my form cannot actually graduate. And then a little bit later, we learned that the graduation dinner is canceled. So at that point, I was already prepared to be disappointed and disillusioned. But not too long after, and by not too long I mean a few months later, we have the graduation ceremony for the class of 2020 to 2021, which is not my year. But people from my year, 2019 to 2020, are also invited. So, you know what? Let's go there. And there are several things I need to talk about. First of all, and even though this seems really exciting and fun, I honestly don't have a lot of high hopes for this graduation ceremony. I'm just gonna go back to school, sit there, and then leave, and that's it. I'm gonna enjoy my time there if I can. That's it. I have lost my ability to care. There are 365 days in a year, and I get sick really rarely. And out of all days, I got sick yesterday. I woke up and I had a sore throat. It's almost like if God exists, God doesn't want me to go to the graduation ceremony today. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's going to psychologically traumatize me. I don't know. So hopefully I get well, and I'm going to go anyways because screw it. I've waited for over 1.5 years for this. I deserve to do this. I deserve to go there. Also, I've made several videos already talking about how this will be the last time I go to the school. Well, guess what? I actually don't know if it's the last time I'll ever go to my school or not. Earlier in January this year, I made a video on me returning to the school to retrieve my graduation certificate with Pink. And then not too long ago in October, I went back to the school and did a walking tour around the school and did a final vow, and it was such a dramatic and emotionally cathartic final vow. It would be the perfect ending. But no. We have one more thing to do, and that is the graduation ceremony. So yeah, I'm not going to talk too much because I don't want to be late. I have to fix my hair because it still looks terrible. I will trim my facial hair, and I will do whatever preparations that need to be done. Alright, this is it. I have several things to say. First of all, time now is 12:45. I am half an hour late because this is way more complicated than I thought. I washed my hair with water and I combed it. I applied a band-aid on my feet. I looked for my undershirt for a very, very, very long time. And then I tried to wear this for the first time. And it was already too small because it's been 1.5 years since I've worn it. Such a shame. $1,200. $1,200. And now it's already too small. Just fuck me. Also, as you can probably tell, I don't have a bag because I don't know what to carry there. So I'm not gonna bring anything. I have my phone, I have some money, wallet, and ID card inside. And best of luck to me. after this bus from one bus stop to another is not easy, especially when you're in a suit like this. But hey, I did it. I should be able to get to the school at around 20 minutes. The bus is going really, really slowly. Come on, speed up, come on, please. Come on, man. So, my hair looks pretty bad, but I have no other choice. I forgot to talk about my feelings, but I really don't have time. Let's just say that, whatever happens, happens, okay? If I see Mary, if I don't see Mary, if I see Bernice, if I don't see Bernice, it's all the same. I'm just gonna go there, enjoy my time, come back home, and take some photos, and that's it. That's all I need to do. I love the school. I love everybody I've met there. That's all. I have nothing else to say. There's another bus at my right now. I'm looking for people who are also dressed as nicely as me, who are also potentially going to the same school, but chances are unlikely. I feel like I'm overthinking. I feel like I may be hallucinating. I miss school. I miss the paranoia. I miss the anger. I miss the sadness. I miss the dreaminess. But I've changed, and can't do anything about that. So, you know, I'll enjoy my time there. Hopefully I don't get a fever or something. Well, here I am, going back to the school with a vengeance. Well, here goes nothing. I'm early, so that's cool. Alright, so time now is 10:33. Hold on, is it 10:30? 10:34 p.m. on God, I'm not feeling so well. On December 4th, 2021. And I'm back at home after the graduation ceremony, and I'm going to talk about it. Yay. So, usually in crazy events like this, I would try my very best to film as much as possible, and I actually did, but it's school, and inside the premises of the school campus, I can't just wave my phone and then take a bunch of videos and photos. So, at the end, I didn't take a lot of photos and videos, so, yeah, I'm gonna have to talk about it verbally right now. You know, speak about it instead of showing it. So I'm sorry if this video is boring or anything. I'm incredibly sorry if this video bores you, but it is what it is. I can't do anything about it. But this is a very important video, and today is a very important day because it is officially the last day of my school life. And I know I've said that a couple times already. Once I referred to May 11th as the last day, the end of everything, and that's also true because May 11th is the day I finished the DSEs. So my entire school life has basically led up to that point, and that's the day it all ends, and that's true. And today it's also the ending, but more like the end credits scene. So May 11th of last year, the last day of the DSEs, the day I cried, which I'm not embarrassed about. You know, I'm happy I cried. That was a lot of stress built up, and I just had to release it, so I cried. But that was the last scene of the last episode, while today is the end credit scene, the post credit scene. So technically, it's already all over, but the final statement is today. So today is also very, very important. Um, so as you can tell, well, I didn't really tell you, but I've said in other videos, yesterday I got sick. And I was really, really fucking pissed about it because I get sick rarely nowadays, and to get sick right before the graduation ceremony makes me extremely angry. So yeah, there's that. But you know what? Sickness is not gonna break me down. I will still go. So I insisted on going to the graduation ceremony, and there were a lot of logistical issues, like what clothes am I gonna wear, what bag am I gonna bring, and it is all solved in short matter of time, to a point where I almost got late, but only almost because I woke up pretty early today. Okay, so before going to the graduation ceremony, I need to pick what clothes do I want to wear, because of course I can't just walk into the graduation ceremony in a t-shirt and flip-flops. Of course I can't. I have to wear something formal. So for that, I thought about my graduation dinner suit, except my graduation dinner suit and shirt are very fancy and whack. I mean, it is blue, the suit is blue, and the shirt is purple, for God's sakes. Like this is graduation ceremony, not graduation party. It's different. So I asked my dad if he has any black suits, and he has, which is great. He also has plain white shirts, but the black suit was too big. So I was defeated. So you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna wear this. So I wore this, but I didn't wear the purple shirt. I just wore the blue suit. That's all I did. And underwhelmingly, I bought this suit about 1.5 years ago, and because I've gained so much weight since then, I've gained so much body mass, like muscle mass and fat, this suit is actually way tighter than it was supposed to be. So I wore it anyways because I have no other choice. So for the whole day I've been wearing this, which is not very comfortable, but you know what, it's fine. It looks good on me, it's fine, I'll accept it. Also, again, I have a sore throat right now, and I don't feel so good, but I still have to go. On top of that, my feet is injured. And the reason why is that the weather is really dry, so my skin is getting really dried up, and when your skin gets dry, it's really susceptible to cuts. So I don't know how it happened, but I got a cut under my feet. So every time I walk, it hurts. So I am in no good condition to go to the graduation ceremony. It's like if God exists, he's basically saying, you know what, don't go. But I defy God and reached the end. So, I took some pills yesterday. I took a Panadol in case I got fever. I also took 3 small sleeping pills because I wanted to sleep, and it's been months since I've taken melatonin, aka sleeping pills, because I don't want to rely on them. I don't want to turn into a junkie. But you know what? Extreme measures are required in extreme situations. So not really extreme, but you get the idea. So I took 3 small sleeping pills and I couldn't fall asleep. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the nerves. Maybe I was nervous, but I went to bed at around 3:30 a.m. almost immediately after Spanish class. And then I couldn't fall asleep until 5. And then I naturally woke up at 7. And then I went back to sleep, and then I woke up at around 10 before my alarm even rang. So honestly, am I feeling tired right now? Yes, I am very tired right now, and I would love to sleep. But anyways, I woke up, left my bed at around 11, and I'm supposed to arrive at school before 1:30 p.m. So I woke up at 11. I give myself a lot of time to prepare. Wear my suit. Make my hair look nice. Comb my hair. I've never combed my hair in years. Today is the first day I've combed my hair in years. I also, trimmed my mustache a little bit, my beard, some stray hair, even though it wouldn't have mattered because I'm wearing a mask. But, I did all the preparations, and it took more time than I think. I spent about 1.5 hours preparing for the graduation ceremony. Of course, wearing this, but also looking for an undershirt because I checked all my closet. I can't find an undershirt. And then the shoes, that problem is solved. I wore the same pair of shoes as I have worn 2 years ago when I used to go to school. Yeah, after a while, I left my home at around 12:45, and then I arrived at school very swiftly. Okay, so I went to the bus stop, and 682 showed up, but I was not fast enough to get onto 682. 682 is the number of the bus. Right, I look really bright. So I chased after the bus to the next bus stop, and I actually got onto 682. So that was amazing, especially considering the fact that my feet is hurting. So got on the same bus and went there, and I arrived there, and woohoo! Here begins the final school day. So I walked onto the road, and as you can tell, after not really switching off the phone, after I stopped recording, suddenly someone in front of me was like, "Hey, Enoch," and I was like, "Wait, who?" So there were a couple people in front of me, and I thought they were both businessmen going to work because they wore suits and they were carrying handbags. I thought, okay, there's a chance they may go to the graduation ceremony, but they might be teachers. Turns out, it's Daryl. Now, I've never actually really talked about Daryl in depth in my videos before because he's such a minor character in my life. I hate to say it, I don't want to insult him, but he used to be my classmate in 1C, and we knew each other for a little bit. And he used to be a huge science nerd, and he introduced me to Vsauce. I didn't recognize him at all today because he had long hair. Like, it was like long enough to be like down here, and he had to wear a ponytail. It was amazing. I spoke to him as if we spoke to each other last Tuesday, even though we actually haven't seen each other for at least 2 years. Yeah, for at least 2 years. That's not an exaggeration. And we haven't seen each other for at least 2 years, haven't spoken to each other for God knows how long. But yeah, we saw each other and we talked a little bit and we were friendly. And then I went to school and I saw a girl in a black suit and white shirt, and it's Jordana with flowers. And so I spoke to Jordana a little bit. And again, I haven't spoken to Jordana in like 2 years as well, because 2 years ago it was the end of everything, more like the end of school. Or actually, no. I haven't spoken to Jordana in a year and 4 months, because the last time I spoke to her, it was the DSE results day. So yeah, and we spoke to each other as if we had last spoken to each other last Wednesday. And I was like, "Why are you holding flowers?" And Jordana's parents were there as well, and I said, "Well, I didn't bring any parents. I wasn't carrying a bag because I realized that I couldn't bring anything with me because it would look dumb. So I literally wore one shirt, one suit, a shirt, pants, a phone, and I didn't even bring my wallet. I took like money out of my wallet, the money, my ID card, my school ID, my octopus card. That's it. And I put them in my breast pocket in my shirt. That's it. And that's fine. I didn't run into any problems. I mean, I got the brochure, not really brochure, the little booklet thing that I had to hand carry back home, but that's about it. But yeah, I talked to Jordana, and I've been wanting to speak to Jordana for a while, just check up on her, you know, and she's nice, yeah, and then afterwards, we, what happened afterwards? Tyrus walked past me. Afterwards, we walked up to form. Okay, Natalie's texting me right now. I'm such a popular person. Oh my god. Man, I'm tired. So we walked to the second floor because we had to at 1:30 we had to go to the classrooms and go through a small briefing of sorts. So we went up to the classroom and we saw Kingsley and Olivia. And me seeing Kingsley is like me meeting a villain in real life, even though he isn't a villain, but he is kind of a villain in a sense. So I walked up to him and I was nice and he was kind of nice. But, it's just a cool feeling, it's like confronting a beast. And then, yeah, I and Jordana decided to go to the other classroom to check on other people, because people from old 6A and old 6B go to room 203, while or 202, while people from old 6C, 6D, and 6E go to room 201. So we went to room 201 to see if there are any people from old 6C, 6D, and 6E. And I went there partially because I wanted to see Mary, because there's a chance that Mary may show up, and Mary's from old 6C, so I wanted to see if Mary's there. But Mary never showed up today. And I'll talk about that a little bit later, talk about Mary, talk about love. Yeah, I went into 6C and there were like literally no one there. I mean, Daryl was there because Daryl's also in 6C. But yeah, there was our math teacher, our old math teacher, and we spoke to her a little bit. Scooby showed up, small girl from Poly U, and yeah, Jordana dominated the conversation. Like, Jordana spoke to the math teacher a lot, and I was just standing there a little awkwardly, but I wasn't super awkward. Like, I know how to compose myself. And at the end, I commented a couple times, and then I left it, and that's it. And then we ran into Miss Hermes, our chemistry teacher / old class teacher, and I joked around. I said, "Oh," because Miss Hermes thought I was already at Los Angeles, and I said, "No, I came back to Hong Kong just for this graduation ceremony." And then I was like, just kidding. So, haha, I trolled you, Miss Hermes. I trolled you. I'm a troll. Get trolled. Yeah. Afterwards, we went to classroom, and there were a lot of people there. Miriam's there, Zara's there, Topher's there, Betsy's there. A lot of people were there, and most of the people in that room were people from 6B. So a good chunk of people from 6B actually showed up, including Matt. So apparently, and I didn't even know this until today because I'm just so out of touch with like the whole Hong Kong university culture right now. But Matt became a bit of a celebrity, and not in a good way. A viral video came out where it's basically in Hong Kong University space, Hong Kong U space, which is basically the associate's degree department of Hong Kong U. And it's basically two people arguing. The fat boy in the white shirt is a free rider, which basically means that he didn't do the group project, and someone's accusing him of free riding, and the argument got heated, and the fat boy in the white shirt was like, don't fucking touch me, and then they started fighting. Like, the white boy pushed the guy in the gray shirt, and then the guy retaliated by kicking him again and again, and then somebody had to stop them, and cops were being called on, and it was a bit of a viral video that blew up about 2 weeks ago. Turns out the fat boy in the white shirt is Matt. And everybody hated Matt. Because, I mean, he free rided, which means he didn't do the group project. And everybody hates a person who doesn't do their thing in the group project. Even though Matt did do something, but basically the entire internet hates him now, and he became a bit of a celebrity. So Matt showed up, and people laughed about it. But I'm glad that Matt was kind of a good sport about it. Like, people joked about it, and Matt was like, "Yeah, that shit happened." And even teachers spoke to him about it, and they were pretty nice. And that's basically it. So Topher was there, and I and Topher sat next to each other for a little bit in a classroom. And he was nice, even though Topher is basically my number one enemy at some point. But we were nice to each other at this point. Afterwards, we went into the school hall, and we had to sit according to our class number. So Hans came, and Jordana came, and I was in between them, because there were like, Hans is 10, I was 12, Jordana was 15. So my number, I was 6A12. So Hans came, we went to the school hall, and I sat next to Hans, which is a bad thing because Hans isn't really that close to me, and Hans never really liked me, somewhat despised me even at some point. Topher even despised me at some point. Hell, Jordana friggin' waged a war on me and destroyed me in Form 2. So I was facing some big enemies. But I sat next to Hans, and I was relaxed. Like, I was sociable and relaxed, and I actually spoke to him, and we actually talked about a few things. Even though Hans, for the most part, beside Hans, it was Kingsley, and then it was Hector. But they talked a bit, and sometimes I and Hans would talk, and we didn't have a lot to talk about. I mean, we talked about just small talk at first, and then afterwards we talked a little bit about books. So at some point we all lined up, walked up to the stage, and grabbed our graduation certificate, which was fake because we already grabbed ours, so we can't grab another. So we walked up there and took photos, whatever, came back down, and at that point, when we all sat down, basically everyone from 6A, all the way from Hector to Kingsley to Jordana to Betsy to Topher, they all took out their phones and started reading notes and studying. And Betsy brought a tablet, Kingsley also brought a tablet, and then Topher brought a whole ass laptop just to study, because a lot of people are in the final exams now. It's final exams week for university students, so everybody's studying. And it was actually quite boring, but from time to time I and Hans spoke about books. I was bored. The whole ceremony was boring as hell. Other than going to the stage and taking photos, there's nothing else. It's just pure speeches. Also, I was in the first group of people to go up to take photos, because it was old 6A, old 6B, old 6C, old 6D, old 6E, new 6A, new 6B, new 6C, new 6D, new 6E, in this order. I'm from old 6A, and I was the first 4 people to walk up, because the first 4 people arranged in class numbers is Hector, Kingsley, and Hans. I actually wasn't the first group. I was the second group. It was 3 per person, so Hector, Kingsley, Hans, and then it was me, Jordana, Betsy. Yeah. Afterwards, it's just very freaking boring. So everybody pulled out their phone, so I pulled out my phone, and I started writing a letterbox review, because what else can I do? Hans saw it, and Hans was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Reviewing a movie." And he's like, "Oh, you know what? You should review books. You should read books." So we talked a little bit about books, and it was pretty cool, and that's it. I hesitated. I wanted to tell him about the whole Mary situation, but I sort of pulled myself back, even though it wouldn't really matter, to be honest. And maybe I would get an interesting piece of perspective on the whole Mary situation, on the whole love thing from Hans. But at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter, so I didn't talk to him about this at the end.
Our school continues to focus on 3 main areas: physical health, mental health, and social well-being.
On this place, compound this place that you are all grown up. You have the responsibility to make this a good place for the future. You have the responsibilities to speak.
Anyways, The ceremony was over. We returned to class rooms. Um, and the real cool stuff begins happening, because after the ceremony, nobody wants to leave. Everybody just wants to stay and take photos. So we did. We stayed and took photos for a long time, which is great. I can stay for however long I want to in order to take photos. It would be great. I saw Miss Solomon. Miss Solomon showed up. She quit it 3 years ago, and she showed up again, and I thought she would just walk up to me and speak to me, but that didn't really happen. But I did say hi to her, so that's that. The most notorious evil teacher from the school, also one of the most important characters in the first 2 years of my school life. So we just took photos, man. We just took a bunch of photos with a bunch of people. I took photos with Jordana. I took a photo with Daryl. I took a photo with just people, man. Just people. Zara and Miriam. It's just me and Zara, and then took photos with Tyrus. Took a photo with Anthony, the Attack on Titan fan. And yeah, took a photo with Mr. Rushmore. So also at some point Miss Hermes came, and we all took a photo of all the people from our class from old 6A, except 2/3 of 6A is already gone, like either gone to another country or was staying at home to study for the final exams, or just didn't come out. But yeah, I did take a photo with them. So me, Betsy, Topher, Jordana, Zara, all together in the same photo, which is absolutely weird, because if you rewind yourselves back and take a look at the history of our class, you know that Betsy used to hate Zara, Zara used to hate Jordana, I used to hate Topher, Topher used to hate Zara, and like we all hated each other at some point, except for me. I didn't hate anyone but Topher. But we were all very peaceful and nice with one another at the end, which is hilarious. Well, actually, Zara and Topher, have they hated each other at some point? I forgot, but I know that Zara and Topher were like cool with each other because they had hung out like a couple times already. Yeah. Topher hates Jordana, but we all got along at the end, and it was an awesome photo. It was weird and it was awesome as hell. I enjoyed it. Okay, I spoke to Mr. Rushmore, my 1C math teacher, Mr. Rushmore, who is someone who I've been meaning to speak to for a while, even though if I hadn't spoken to him, it'd be fine. It wouldn't be the end of the world. But I wanted to speak to him because he runs a movie review Instagram page, and I love movies, so I've been wanting to speak to him about it for years. And so I finally walked up to him and was like, oh, can we take a photo too? And then after taking a photo, I was like, oh yeah, I saw your Instagram movie review page. And then he was like, oh yeah, I haven't followed you on Instagram. So he followed me on Instagram lately today, which is cool. And then that's it. It was nice, actually. Like, I got to socialize with everyone. Not really everyone, but whoever I walk into, at least I have something to say. Like, I would be hanging out with Miriam and Zara, and then Tyrus would show up, and I have something to say to Tyrus. I have something to say to anyone, and I'm just a very nice, sociable person. And Leo and Pink showed up. They didn't show up in the graduating ceremony, but they showed up at the end. And so at the end, Zara and Miriam had a birthday dinner with another person who's also their friend. And Adam invited me to have tea with Leo, Pink, Betsy, and Topher, which is great. I'm being invited to things absolutely bonkers, and yeah, we went to this little Ta Tan Tang type restaurant near the school, and we just sat down, and I ordered so Pink, Betsy, and Leo ordered fried fish fillet and fried chips, or French fries. Got a little British there, and then I Adam and Topher had fried chicken. Not really fried chicken. I mean, yeah, it's fried, but it's not like deep fried. It's just fried. Fried chicken and French fries. Plus, all of us had lemon tea, except for one person. I forgot who had lemon water instead. And it was nice. We sat down, and even though I had sore throat, I still ate it, and it was still a nice meal. Plus the fact that I didn't have breakfast. I had breakfast today, and it was just a toast, cream cheese, and some salmon, and that's it. And it's repugnant. Like I just had no appetite this morning, and I didn't have lunch. So, given that, of course, I'd eat some food. So I eaten some food, and then that's it. And then afterwards, me, Leo, Pink, and Topher sat on 85, bus number 85, to go back home. And us four talked a little bit, and it was nice. And then afterwards, I forgot to mention that at school, a lot of people said they liked my suit. A lot of people said it's cool. Like Miriam said it's cool. Anthony said it's cool. Anthony's friend said it's cool. I forgot who exactly. But a lot of people, Jordana said it was cool. It was a good damn suit. And Anthony was like, is it Yakpei? And I'm bad at Cantonese, so I thought he meant 1,000, but it actually means 10,000. And I was like, yeah. Oh, no, wait, I mean 1,000. So, yeah, bit of a slip up there. But it was actually a fair price, 1,000 for a fancy ass suit like this with such nice soft texture. You know what? It's a good bargain. It's a good deal. So I'm happy that everybody complimented on my fancy ass suit. Also, Sammy showed up. So Sammy, the thought girl, the super tall, flat chested. Okay, I don't want to body shame. I'm just describing her, okay? And she may be a really, really nice person in the core. But Sammy, the thought, who is widely disliked because of her very thoughty behavior, the fact that she smokes weed and drinks a lot of alcohol, makes her not popular in a sense, even though she has the most Instagram followers out of all of us in the forum. She's also probably the most hated person. Sammy showed up and asked Jordana about homework, which annoyed some people. I mean, we laughed about it, we joked about it, but you know. Anyways, Sammy showed up, and the outfit she wore was like fashion week outfit. It was this gray suit, and it was this like, it was like this. I don't even know how to say like describe it. It's like a crop top. That's also kind of a shirt. That's also kind of a V neck. What's the fucking word? What's the word? Oh my god, I forgot the word, but it's like you know, a little revealing in the chest. Yeah. And people laughed at her for that, but nobody laughed at me for this. This is the real deal. This is me being classy as hell. You know, it wasn't excessive. It's just perfectly fine. And some other people also wore pretty fancy suits. But this one is good. I like it. I like the texture. I like the color. You know what? I like it. Small little detail here. I forgot that during the haul, you know how Letterboxd play ads? The website played an ad, and it was loud. It got loud for a second, and I immediately muted my phone. Also, Hans was studying some math stuff, some statistics, some differentiation looking stuff. I don't even know anymore. I don't think it's differentiation. I don't know. And then Kingsley studying biology, and at a lot of occasions, Hans and Jordana were texting each other on WhatsApp. They weren't like distant strangers, you know, they were close. Oh, I forgot to mention a couple things. First of all, Tyrus and I, when we talked, he joked that I'm culture DTCTV, and I said I have a second channel called Losers Collective, and it's spelled Losers CLLCTV, and he's like, stop it with the fucking acronyms. And oh shit, I forgot what what else did I talk about? I spoke briefly to Hans about Hong Kong music. And during the tea, Adam and Topher briefly mentioned my short film because I was talking about confessing my love to a girl, and he's like, they jokingly said, "Well, haha, thus your short film, right?" And I said, "Well, partially," and they were like, "Oh, partially." So yeah, there's that. Okay, today is the next day. I forgot to mention that Betsy, before we started eating the fried chicken, Betsy said my face looked more yun yun, which means I look fatter, which is a compliment because that's exactly what I was working towards. So there's that. Anyways, on the bus number 82 with Leo, Pink, and Topher, we talked a little bit. It was nice. Talked a little bit about my college life now. Adam also talked a little bit about my college life now. Just whatever. Oh, I told Mr. Rushmore that I'm studying film. So wow, that's so cool. I told a lot of people that I'm studying film now, and a lot of people thought I'm in another country now, but actually I'm not. But anyways, Leo and Pink left the bus because they live in that place, and so it's just me and Topher. So we sat together and we talked, and it's just so damn good. It's just such a damn good thing that I get to speak to someone I used to hate. Like, this is one of the coolest things you can never do, is to speak to someone peacefully and honestly, and that someone is someone you used to hate. So I actually spoke to Topher about Mary at the end because I enjoy sharing things about this because it makes me feel better and it's good to gain perspective. B, it doesn't even fucking matter. It's not like I don't think I'll ever see Topher again in my life or speak to him again in my whole life. And him knowing that I love Mary doesn't mean a goddamn thing, okay? He can't do a goddamn thing. So I spoke to Topher about it, and I know that Topher may, give me a pretty interesting perspective. But yeah, the general idea is that I walked up to Topher. Okay, so Topher, during the tea, when we had the fried chicken, he was like, okay, on December 16th, I'm going to post something on Instagram and confess my love. And I thought it meant to Lucy, which is a girl that he used to date earlier this year, who also attended Pink's birthday party on January 15th in Marty's apartment when we had the hot pot. But apparently that's not really who he's referring to, because Topher broke up with Lucy and fell in love with another girl. So Lucy's like, Topher's like, okay, I'm gonna confess my love to her officially, even though I have confessed my love, but it wasn't official enough. It was too weird. And I was like, oh, speaking of weird confessions, I told him about how I talked to this girl and how I very indirectly said that I like her. And then I followed up with when we waited at the bus stop, or before that actually, when we left the restaurant, I went up to him and I told him, oh, do you know Mary? Like, one afternoon, like after classes, after lessons, you spoke to Mary and I got jealous. And so at that point, of course, Topher already knows that the girl I refer to is Mary, and he may or may not know that I don't care that he knows. So yeah, it's Mary. So I spoke to him about Mary. I said, oh, do you know Mary? And apparently Topher doesn't know Mary that well. And I said, well, I low-key wish Mary would show up today, but at this point I kind of give up already. And I said I don't think I'll ever see Mary or speak to her ever again. And Topher said that's a good thing because he said because it's better to not see a candy while wanting to eat a candy versus wanting to eat a candy and seeing a candy but not being able to eat it. So he's got a point. And then we talked about a wide array of things. I got honest, and I like meta conversations where I refer to another conversation about this conversation. Usually conversations don't work like that. but I like to be a little meta sometimes. So Zara, quite a while ago, spoke to me about how I and Topher have a lot to like. I and Topher can actually get along, and I kind of disagreed. And now it actually happened. I and Topher got along. We got along. We sat next to each other at the bus and we just chatted, man. We just chatted. Me and my enemy. Um, and finally, um, I may have fever now. I feel bad. Um, yeah. Topher and I spoke a little bit about Natalie because obviously, and I always thought that this is a kind of a touchy subject because obviously the history between Topher and Natalie is a very complicated one. Natalie refused to admit that she used to be in a romantic relationship with Topher, while we have Topher mistreating Natalie, as well as asking Natalie to be his sex slave, which was a very awkward thing to say. And sitting next to me is a very perverted person who asked Natalie to be a sex slave and asked Natalie to try different sex positions. And, but I wasn't that disgusted. I mean, after all, he is human. And lust is an integral part of human life and human sin. In a sense, that is part of humanity. But anyways, we spoke about Natalie, and Topher doesn't hate Natalie. Topher said that he admits that he did bad things to Natalie. He made mistakes. And Topher also shared that he was in love with a girl for 6 years, which I doubt it's true because during those 6 years, in the middle, he was also in love with a second person who is Natalie. And so it's basically like being in love with two people at the same time. And Topher's like, yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Being in love with someone you don't know very well. And I said, well, I feel like I loved Mary because I didn't understand her. And he's like, yeah, there's a saying that you love a person because you don't understand the person. And finally, we talked a little bit about Keith. Topher knows who Keith is, and Topher knows that Natalie and Keith were a thing. Like they were briefly in a relationship, but Topher doesn't know the gritty details. I know. I'm traumatized. But I told Topher that Keith is an evil person. He is manipulative, calculative, and when Keith and Natalie broke up, it was like Keith was just tossing a toy away. And yeah, we also but Topher was like, well, yeah, just because you're bad doesn't mean you can't pick up girls. Finally, I saw Topher texting Queenie, who is a student in New Zealand now, Auckland. If you're from Auckland and you see an Asian girl with yellowish, reddish hair, it's dyed hair. Maybe she changed her hair color now. Walk up to her and say, Enoch sends his regards. Don't do that. Respectfully say hi and fangirl or fanboy. But yeah, so Topher was like, well, Topher also told me the name of the girl who he loved for 6 years. But yeah, Topher at the end was like, well, if Natalie and Queenie are friends now, Natalie would probably kill me. But yeah, Topher basically revealed that he's in love with Queenie, and that didn't come to me as a shock because Queenie's awesome. Like, Queenie is gorgeous. I mean, yeah, she's hot, but she's more than that. She's gorgeous. If she puts on a dress, she would look like a Disney princess. I'm not kidding. And what I also like about Queenie is that she's athletic, and athletic girls are. But on top of that, Queenie is a legitimately nice person with a sense of humor and very artsy as well. So she's a cool girl. So I couldn't really argue with Topher. It was a good girl to fall in love with. And Topher said he would be revealing his love to her in on December 16th. And I asked why December 16th, and he said it's because it's been exactly 1 month since his unofficial confession. And yeah, I asked a few questions like, do you know about Queenie and Harry, like their very tragic breakup? And Topher says yes. Topher also told me to you know, don't make dumb decisions when dating, because if you date someone one time and then immediately confess your love, it's too fast. That's what he said. But yeah, finally, I said, well, uh, I posted a conspiracies poster thing on Instagram on October 24th. Do you know why? Well, that's because October 24th is Mary's birthday. And so he's like, well, yeah, you know, these dates usually mean something to us. And he's like, well, even if you've never dated Mary, you've never been with Mary, at least you need to acknowledge that Mary's changed you somehow. Like, Natalie has changed him somehow. Topher said that if it weren't for Natalie, he would be a very different person right now. And I said, well, yeah, Mary changed me too. And that's basically it. And then we just left, and that's it. That's the end of the story. So I'm going to have so Natalie just texted me about. Oh, also, I secretly took a bunch of photos, and I sent one to Betsy, and well, Betsy asked for it, and Betsy posted it and tagged me and said I'm the photographer, and yeah, and then a lot of people also reposted it. So, hey, my photography is getting some love, which is awesome. And I also look just good with the suit again, you know. And yeah, Natalie just texted me. We talked a little bit about you know, what happened today, as well as Natalie's frustration with Grant, which is another story. I don't want to dig too deep into it. But yeah, essentially Grant did a lot of oopsies, you know, hung out with a lot of hot girls, and Natalie was sick. You know, Natalie got sore throat and fever, and Natalie is still sick. She's got the final exams to handle, and she still has like a job or something. Or actually, no. I mean, yeah, she still has a job, but also, you know, a bunch of other stuff like, you know, dinnering with other people. Um, and Grant just kind of ignored Natalie, and Grant made Natalie wait for 3 hours because Natalie gave Grant tea, because Natalie brewed the tea for Grant, and Grant didn't even drink it. And yeah, Grant asked Natalie to do his assignments for him, and he went off to play volleyball. So there's that. Such tumultuous relationships. But yeah, I guess this is it. I'm happy that I'm able to reconcile with old enemies. I low key wish that I would have spoken to Jordana a little bit about something deeper today. You know, some thoughtful stuff. But you know what? It doesn't even matter. And I'm happy what happened today. I'm not super happy. I'm not disappointed. I'm also not disappointed that Mary didn't show up. Of course, if Mary shows up, I would just walk up to her and speak to her. I would not even hesitate. In 2019, I would have hesitated. I would have been scared. But in 2021, I'm not afraid anymore. All my social fear, it's all gone to the bin. Like, I can speak to strangers now. It's actually quite impressive how far I've gone socially. Like, I speak to strangers now. I walk up to people and speak to them with confidence. I'm even surprised. Like, even I myself am surprised that I'm able to conquer my social fear, my social anxiety. So if Mary shows up, you can be sure as hell that I will speak to her. But Mary didn't show up, and you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I've moved on. I like her, but there really isn't much difference between her showing up today and her not showing up today. I mean, yeah, we could get to know each other a little more, but at the end, I think if I speak to her today, then I would want to speak to her again, and then I would want to speak to her again and again and again. This desperation will never end. So if I just let it go, this pain will end. And that's okay. That's okay. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. I said I was in love with Mary for 4 years, and I hit it for 3 years, for the first 3 years, and it was pain, it was suffering. I told that to Topher. But yeah, again, I'm not super happy. I'm not sad right now. I feel peaceful, and that's okay. I'm gonna have a good night's sleep. I may or may not have tea with Natalie next Monday. I want to, but I don't know if that's possible. So yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching, and this will be my last school update video in the playlist. There will be nothing more. I didn't cry today either. Very good. There are two endings, right? There are two endings to this. One is the final vow, where I show my absolutely emotional side, and one is this. No emotions. Plain, peaceful normality. Normalness. Realness. Nothing else. And that's all there is to life.